So, y'all, we got to be honest. Where in the world did Jarquez Hunter go, and what happened to that Auburn offense? I think that has to be one of the first questions we ask here on another War Report Wednesday with Mike Gittens, of course, joining us from the War Report, co-founder and a co-host there. Started off, man. Get your initial reactions. Vandy comes in to Jordan Hare. Yet again, Diego Pavia is proving that he is a monster on the plains, and unfortunately, Auburn falls again.
Crazy enough, Diego Pavia didn't have a great game. I mean, he was sub 50% passing. I think he went 9 for 22 in that game. He made a couple of big throws when Vandy needed it, but overall, Auburn did probably the best job anybody's done on Vanderbilt all year, allowing only 227 yards of total offense. They barely got up the football field twice, Rex. So it was another fantastic job by DJ Durkin's defense. But offensively, they continue to lower the bar, and that's been the story of the season. You just could not generate enough offense. You couldn't generate points. And if not for a Herculean effort by Rivaldo Fairweather on the touchdown where he caught it on his shoestrings, juked the guy, dragged another one, and reached for the pylon, Auburn may have scored 0 points in this game. You have kicking issues. I tweeted this after the game, and it went semi-viral, but it's tough. It's tough watching this offense underperform with really what is a championship level defense that they're playing here on the Plains right now.
And I think we have to just explore that a little bit. We've talked about it for several weeks now. I would say from the beginning of the season that DJ Durkin is putting together a defensive team that is incredible.
Yeah.
They're holding teams to right about what you want for a championship level or at least an elite level team. So he may not qualify for postseason stuff, but do you think DJ Durkin should be in consideration for the job that he's done?
100%. And with as many freshmen as he's playing as well, too. Future's real bright on that side of the ball. So, again, when you look at all the metrics, they're trending better than that vaunted 2019 defense that Auburn had in terms of total yardage and points allowed. Less than 20 points a game they're allowing. That should be good enough to win ball games. So DJ Durkin deserves a ton of credit. I think he's Hugh Freeze's best hire since he's gotten to the Plains. They just have to figure it out on the offensive side of the ball.
And speaking of the offensive side of the ball, what happened to Jarquez Hunter? He comes off a career day in Lexington, comes back home. We expected the exact same thing, and then it just underperforms.
Hugh Freeze said in the postgame after Rex that Vandy wasn't giving that up. There were 29 rushes in this game. It felt like previous games where they quit on the run game too early. They were clearly doing something different with Damari Alston and Jeremiah Cobb in the backfield, the triple option looking thing. It worked at times, but what they did against Kentucky was Kentucky stuffed the run early and they stuck with it, and eventually Jarquez broke out. I thought that should have been an effective game plan as well this week versus this team. You didn't need 45 points to win this game. 21 points would have won this game, and there's no reason that Auburn didn't score 21 points in this one. So when you're looking at Jarquez's usage, there was speculation. During the game, I thought he was hurt. I was like, is he hurt? Is that why we're not seeing him? Hugh Freeze said he thought he was gassed. I'm calling baloney on that one. He's a supremely conditioned athlete. He wasn't gassed. We confirmed through sources, some direct sources, he wasn't hurt. There were rumors swirling that he was in a boot earlier in the week. That was not true. They just didn't give him the ball. They employed a game plan that lessened his touches in the game, and that led to defeat for Auburn. Very frustrating to watch, both for myself and for fans.
Frustrating is probably one of the best words to use right now.
Yeah.
And I hate to bring up some bad memories here, but when Bryan Harsin was on the Plains, we understood that things didn't go his way, so that's why, unfortunately, Auburn decided to move on. But if you look at the record, I've seen this, online. It's very similar records to what Hugh Freeze is doing, to what Coach Harsin is doing. But it seems like there's a different mood around Coach Freeze. It seems like there's a little more grace there. What would be the reason why he gets a little more grace?
Recruiting. It's recruiting. I made this statement. I went on with my friend Cole Kublick on Jocks Radio, and we talked about Hugh Freeze's year one versus Harsin's year one. And when you compare the two, outside of recruiting, Freeze had a worse year one, and that's
wild.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. 6-7 record, embarrassing bowl loss, heartbreaking Iron Bowl loss, quarterback issues the whole season. But for Freeze, tack on the G5 loss to New Mexico State. Harsin won his G5 game. Now, you had two very different quarterbacks, obviously, in year one for both these coaches, but he picked this quarterback. This was his quarterback that he went out and got. So you have to own the results of the decisions that you make, and it was disappointing. But because you had this exciting 2024 class coming in, one of the best wide receiver classes we've seen in the history of Auburn, if not the best, there was excitement around what these kids could do. I cautioned fans. I said, look, this is more coaching than it is talent than you guys think. And I think in year two, a lot of people are seeing that now. They're seeing that, look, it's a lot more coaching than we thought. Yeah, look, the wide receiver room is better. It wasn't great last year, but I thought they were getting blamed for way too many of the problems that Auburn was having offensively when it looked like it was coaching and scheme to me. That's bearing out this year because that's the consistent thing. You fired the offensive coordinator. There's nowhere to go to scapegoat unless you're going to throw the players on the bus, which he can't. You've got the best back in the league. Everybody thought so, right? His peers think so. We thought so in the media. We voted Jarquez first team preseason all SEC. You've got two other backs that can definitely tote the rock. You've got one of the best wide receivers pickups in the country in Keandre Lambert-Smith. You've got a beast at tight end. If this offense isn't clicking, where do you go to put the blame this year? It's got to be on Coach Freeze and the system that they're employing.
All right. Well, hopefully we get things ironed out, because if there was little room for error heading into the Vandy week, is there zero room for error now?
You got to win out to make a bowl game. I don't see it happening. Two massive upsets versus Texas A&M, Alabama. If he can pull that off, just go ahead and smelt a golden idol into his image, man. The way the season is going, I will start the GoFundMe for it. But when you look at where Hugh Freeze is at right now, this is about finding positive momentum headed into the offseason. Beat ULM and split Alabama and Texas A&M. I know Auburn fans would prefer to get that Iron Bowl in Tuscaloosa if you had to get one. And if he can get both, that'll be one of the best coaching adjustments we've seen late season in the history of college football.
Let's give a reason to smile, right? Because it is also basketball season. And look, we've talked about how incredibly talented this team is. Janai Broome kind of being the center point of this team and how special they can be. Great pickups on the offseason. They had a couple exhibition games where Auburn flat out looked dominant. What have you seen from actual game experience now, and the season's about to tip off?
Well, we got our first look at Tahad Pettiford, and he looks like everything Auburn expected Aiden Holloway to be.
Wow.
Looks very comfortable out there. He's taking shots. He's making shots. They have improved offensively. And then you have the Furman transfer, J.P. Pegues. Already looks good out there as well, too. So they're going to have a pretty good rotation there. And then Miles Kelly. He looked great in the action that we've seen him as well too. Auburn has a game Wednesday versus Vermont. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But this should be a better scoring basketball team than we've seen in the past. Now, last night I got the pleasure of watching Auburn women's basketball as well too.
Question, yeah.
Yeah, and look, they had a lot of injuries going into this one. They still ran Southern Illinois off the floor by over 30 points.
As they should.
But Johnny Harris is not done with this team. So once they get healthy, we're going to get the SEC's leading scorer and Talia Scott back on Friday.
Oh, let's go.
When they play, and that should be a lot of fun to watch as well too.
You mentioned also with the men's team, they play. I was looking at it again. Through the first 7 games, y'all, they play 3 top 10 teams, including Duke. Like, how incredible could this early stretch, it's a gauntlet, but you earn this right to play this tough a schedule, right? How incredible is it to see them go up against this competition?
This is one of the more remarkable non-conference schedules that we've seen in quite some time. You mentioned Duke at Cameron Indoor. That's going to be an iconic game. You've got Houston here. You've got Iowa State. You've got, you've got so many great games
like
in the non-con.
blood programs.
Yeah. So you have a chance to really show the country what you are, because you've got that top 10, bordering on top 10 ranking to start the season. Your rival got a top ranking, and you got to show teams what you are early. So you don't have to win them all, but you do need to be competitive with Duke there in North Carolina, and you've got to find a way to win. I think get out of the non-con with 1, maybe 2 losses, and that would be a solid start for Bruce Pearl headed into the new SEC.
All right, y'all. Well, look, we have a lot to be excited of on the hardwood. Hopefully things get better on the gridiron. Before we go, though, Mike, where can people find you on social media?
Check us out at the War Report on YouTube. We've got lots of great content coming. I know it's been a disappointing football season,
Man.
but basketball is here, Rex.
Yes,
so
sir.
we're going to be doing that. Also, check me out at my new venture over on Locked On UCF, bringing UCF fans lots of great content over there as well, too.
He's a busy man, and we're very blessed to have him stop by WRBL News. We talk about War Report Wednesday. Mike, as always, thank you again, my friend.